I really should be going to bed, but considering I just screwed up that hardcore, we'll play another round. Okay, which have you probably wasted more of in your life, food or money? Oh my god, that's actually a really tough question. I can't tell you how much food has been, has suffered from freezer burn and just been thrown away. I can't tell you how much food we have prepared that just kind of went to the wayside because we just got tired of eating it. We wanted something different. And I can't tell you how much money I wasted on that food and other things. That's a really tough one. Especially right now in Pennsylvania, they just brought out the this update to their lottery application to include something called iLottery, which is a casino-like thing. They have casino-ish games that you can play, and you can actually pay real money into and win real money back. I spent pretty much all weekend last week since it launched playing it, and went from spending no money at all. They gave you $5 free to bumping it up to $50, but I threw 20 in as well, so my account balance was like 70 at the time, then I lost 10. So, I mean, I don't know. We all spend money on frivolous shit that we don't need, so I'm gonna go money. Yay. How about that? How many people feel they have wasted more food than they have money in their entire life? Oh, okay. Yeah, money definitely took the cake there. Can you sing the alphabet without moving your lips? I can hum it. Is that what they mean? Can you hum it? Because I don't see how you can sing it without moving your lips. Unless they mean not like close, but if you open your mouth like... I can do it, but it's not going to make any goddamn sense. Yeah, even LMNO, that'd be rough without the lips, and you might even just move them subconsciously. And by that, do they mean like, do your lips even twitch? Like subconsciously, they move very, very slightly, so. Can you sing the alphabet without moving your lips? I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people out there that are not going to think of it this deep. And are probably going to be like, so I'm going to go, yes. It's probably going to be no, but I am right. Because I think I put way too much thought into that. Again, kind of slim margin. Which fruit would you prefer to snack on, plums or strawberries? Huh. I don't actually know anybody that just sits down and snacks on plums. Pretty much everybody I know would choose strawberries over plums, so I'm going strawberries. Again, more so I haven't seen anybody that did that, so. And I was right. I guess there's not a lot of people out there that just sits there and snacks on plums. Actually, a higher percentage than I thought there would be. All right. Which video game sounds cooler to play? Super Tax Auditor or Permit Filer Jr.? I do believe... Oh god, what was the name of it? Would Papers, Please fall under Permit Filer Jr.? Super Tax Auditor, it could be cool, but if Permit Filer Jr. is anything like Papers, Please, it could be a lot of fun. I guarantee you not a lot of people are going to be looking at this game at the screen going, hey, Papers, Please was fun. That's probably more just my brain trying to rationalize what kind of game Permit Filer Jr. might be. But the simple fact that a game Tax Auditor has super in front of it, Super Tax Auditor will immediately grab a lot of people like, oh, this is going to be fun. Whereas Permit Filer Jr. just immediately makes me think, I don't know if anybody has seen it back in the day, 90s cartoon, I think it was, not late 80s, but early 90s, maybe mid, James Bond Jr. Permit Filer Jr. just makes me think that for some odd reason, crossed with Papers, Please. So I hated that cartoon, but I watched it because there was nothing else on. So I'm gonna go Super Tax Auditor. More so because I'm just, yep. I figured that was gonna be the general mentality of the world because it has super in it. And I guarantee you that's probably the reason why a lot of these people did it. Because it has super in the title. It is super. You're not a tax auditor, you're a super tax auditor. Superpowers to file taxes away and never see them again, man. Holy shit! 100% conformity. I don't know if I should feel proud or offended. Which of the Mr. Men characters is your partner most like? Miss Chatterbox or Mr. Tickle? Oh my god, definitely not Little Miss Chatterbox. Unless Dana gets into a topic that really gets under her skin, really grinds her gears. She's actually a very underspoken person. That's one of the reasons why I like her. She doesn't talk too much, but when you get something that she has high convictions to, she'll defend her platform to the death. Mr. Tickle. In that regard, she's like Lois Griffin when Peter tickles her and she hits him upside the head with a frying pan. I tickled her once and she pretty much kicked me right in the face. So I'm going with Mr. Tickle. Maybe a reverse Mr. Tickle. Tickling is a big no-no here. I also, I was holding on to her one day, and I pretended I was dropping her, and she got startled. She thought I was actually going to do it, I guess, and immediately just a reaction, instant reaction, reached out, and she has, I don't know what her problem is, but she has fingernails like talons. It came literally 2 centimeters away from getting my, no, an inch, not 2 centimeters, what am I thinking? It was about an inch away from getting right in my eye with her talon. It got me on the very top of my cheek and just took a chunk of skin right off my face. Oh my god, that sucked. Could you forgive a family member for committing a crime that was enough to go to prison for? There is a bit of a personal thing to this I'm not getting into. Let's just say a family member did something I 100% detest. And I don't know how he got off from any punishment, really. I believe he just had to do charity work. I think charity work, massive fine, lost a driver's license for a little while. I could be wrong. I don't remember all the specifics because I don't care. To me, for a little while, that was way too much, and I kind of kept my distance. I mean, we're back on talking terms, but I haven't quite forgiven him for that. But I mean, minor stuff, minor things, yeah, I would definitely forgive. I'm sorry, I gotta go with depends on the crime. Actually, the more I think about it, there's been a couple of people that have varying degrees of what the one person I'm talking about, the one family member I'm talking about, did. My god. Alright, I'm not dwelling on that anymore. What is your opinion on a woman who proposes marriage to a man? I'm not going to say romantic. I'm not. I mean, it's out of the ordinary, don't get me wrong. It's different. Kind of violates the whole sense of taking a knee. More so based on the era that everything was, like, marriage was defined in and everything. But I also don't want to say desperate. It feels wrong in a way, but I'm not going to say desperate. But I do not see it as a romantic thing. But then again, I'm a guy. Maybe from a woman's perspective, they can make it romantic. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna go desperate because I personally, from a male perspective, I do not see a woman asking a man to marry her too romantic. A good case in point there, if I remember right, WWE's Paige proposed to Del Rio. I read that and I'm just thinking, like, wait, really? Paige proposed to Del Rio? I think it was Del Rio. And it just struck me as odd. Not necessarily a desperation move, but it just seemed very odd to me. Definitely not romantic. Of course, I am wrong. Really? Again, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I have a penis. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I don't necessarily find it desperate, but I also don't find it romantic. I don't know. It's not on level of, hey, you want a pizza? I'm paying. It's not like on that level. It's something a lot more personal than that, but it's just... maybe it's because it's just different to me, being a guy. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain my view on it. I just noticed the mouse is in the way again. I apologize. Who would you rather have dinner with? My ex or Hitler? You know what? Which ex are we talking? Are we talking about the psychopath that took everything I said out of context and we lasted 1 or 2 days? The 4 or 5 exes that cheated on me? Or the one prior to Dana that used me as a way to escape her boyfriend for 2-3 weeks, to escape her adult responsibilities, and used me as a means to go and fuck her cousin's friend and her cousin. If we're talking that ex, the last ex I had to deal with, I personally think I would rather deal with Hitler, because I don't want to sit there and have to deal with the cousin fucker. So I am going Hitler. I won't lie. I think, yeah, you know what? I don't care. I would rather sit down and have a nice meal with Hitler than dealing with that low-life, conniving, cheating whore of a bitch who tried to ruin my life. Literally, she claimed that she was pregnant with my child back when I was 15. I think she was 14. And yeah, that wasn't me. Turned out the conception date was 2 months after I last saw her. I didn't see her. I didn't see her in those 2 months. She actually went back to her one ex, who lived down the road from her. And because the guy was a scumbag, she tried to claim the kid was mine. And I had family members of hers vouching and coming forward to me and telling me that's all bullshit. So yeah, she can eat a bag of dicks for all I care. We actually did get back together at one point for a little while, like I said, but she wound up using me, and yeah, I learned just how much of a cunt she really is, pardon the language. Because I know that word happens to be a major faux pas right now. But I don't care. It 100% accurately describes her. Should terminally ill patients be allowed to end their lives via assisted suicide? Yes. I don't care. Yes. I feel if you are going to, you're going to suffer and there is no cure and you are going to die, if you want to go out on your own terms, feel free. Who would it be? My great uncle actually just passed away a few weeks ago. And, a friend of his who actually is one of the drivers that takes me out to physical therapy so I can get back on my feet, which is going well, by the way. He knew him, and he's friends with the family in a way, and he told me about his fight with cancer, and flat out told me he just apparently suffered. He knew he was going to die. There was no cure, so he didn't want to pay pharmaceutical companies the extra money that he and his wife really needed, and the money he wanted to leave for his wife and all of that. I mean, that to me is brave, and I genuinely believe... Actually, no, I don't believe he would have, but that's the kind of mentality, when I hear about it, it's like, okay, you know what, I get the feeling maybe subconsciously, deep down inside, he'd be one of those people where it's, you know what, if I assist me in suicide, and I will be happier, won't have to suffer. I do think that might have been something in the back of his head, like, man, I wish somebody would just kill me. But I don't know. I don't know him that well. I actually hadn't seen him in like 15, 18 years. It's been a long time. But he was always a very nice guy, and I do miss him. And I actually wish I did seek out to say hey, or go out of the way, I should say, to say hello once in a while. But hearing all that, that was actually pretty inspiring in a way, to hear how brave he was going into that and how he dealt with it. You know, he didn't try to extend his life. He didn't try to waste his time and money. He rolled with it until the very end. He fought it naturally, is the way I guess I should put it. So, I mean, you hear things like that, and it kind of just changes your mind. Like, yeah, you know what? We should allow terminally ill patients to decide for themselves if they do want to end their own life. You know, when you're terminally ill and there's no cure, what are you going to do? You're postponing the agony. You know, I'm not advocating suicide or anything like that. That's just a personal belief. If you are basically condemned to death by a disease, you should have the right for assisted suicide. But again, that's just me. I know there's a strong community out there that feel that way. What do you fear more, not achieving success in my career or dying alone? I will tell you personally right now, I know for a fact I'm never achieving success in my career, because due to my life at the moment and my health, my career that I wanted is currently out of my reach, and where I'm at right now is essentially where I'm staying. I am not going to get any further. I have not achieved any further success of, hey, I've been here for 9 years. So, in all reality, dying alone is one of my biggest fears. I do not want that to happen. I just don't. So, that's just my fear, though. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that would would choose not achieving success in their career. I'm gonna go dying alone. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I knew it. I knew I was wrong. I just had this gut feeling that maybe I wasn't the only one. Let's see how little a community of like-minded individuals I am residing in. Oh, a mere 4% difference. God damn. Where do I stand? Oh man, 61%. Not bad. Not bad. Not too bad.
No, man. Fun.
Which bad habit do you find the least acceptable? Eating junk food or staying in bed until noon? Well, given the way a lot of people react when you happen to sleep in, I'm going to assume staying in bed until noon, because eating junk food, unless you are a die-hard health nut or gym fanatic, I would say that's basically just being hypocritical at that point, especially for me, because I'm a fat ass. I'm about 240 pounds. I'm losing weight. Don't get me wrong. I'm losing the weight. My hospital stay did not help things out much. So I'm going to go with staying in bed until noon. I'll make my mother happy. Let's see how that stacks up. Oh, right out of the gate, I am wrong. Rest of the world, how wrong was I, you hypocritical jackasses? Wow. My God, you are a bunch of hypocrites. Honestly, I would imagine that sleeping in would definitely be a major thing, but I guess not, compared to junk food. Whatever. Okay, what would you sleep better without, a pillow or a duvet? I'm gonna be honest, I'm dead tired. I can't possibly, not possibly, but I just can't. I can't think of what a duvet is. I know what it is, I just can't think of it off the top of my head at the moment. So, what would you sleep better with? I'm gonna go with the duvet. I'm sure I'm gonna kick myself later on for it, but I will have I have an impossible time sleeping without a pillow, and I'm hoping a lot of other people feel the exact same way, or at least a lot of other people wonder what a duvet is. Yes, I am right. Thank God. Just how right are we? Wow! That wasn't even a contest there. Nice. I feel good about myself. I did not kill the music. The music just died on its own. That is weird. Okay, whatever. Do you think children should be able to opt to learn sign language in place of a foreign language in schools? Oh god, this all really depends. I mean, sign language is definitely a not necessity, but would be a way to really help children interact with the deaf community. That would be a very nice thing. However, especially here in the U.S., a foreign language would actually be beneficial given the rise of Spanish-speaking people, especially even with jobs. My day job is I'm with an answering service kind of thing, and knowing Spanish would actually be very beneficial. I can't tell you how many calls at night I get. The caller asks if I speak Spanish, and unfortunately I don't. And for the night shift, there isn't anybody on that speaks it. So having the ability to speak another foreign language in general would play a role in getting a good job, or at least increasing that aspect of your life. And this, I'm just speaking about just the United States. I'm not really talking about anywhere else. While sign language would be an awesome thing, just to help out, to be able to communicate with the deaf community, maybe even take it into a school or teaching atmosphere when you become an adult. That would be awesome. A good way for helping the community out and whatnot, but in this current day and age, I gotta go with foreign language is still kind of the important thing about it. And interesting side note, I was a jackass that went for French. And I have not used that once at all in my life. I don't know why I chose French over Spanish. I remember nothing. My French teacher had just given up. He gave up. There were too many kids that heckled him. And it was a waste. Waste of my time. But either way, I'm glad to see a lot of people share my opinion on the foreign language thing in schools. And again, that is remarkably a wide margin. Let's continue then, shall we? What would you rather dress up as at Halloween, a zombie or a vampire? I have dressed up as a vampire in the past. I don't recall if I ever dressed up as a zombie. I might have once. I don't know. Cult leader, Satanist. I can't even remember when I was a kid what I dressed up as. Oh god, this is a tough one. Considering, I was gonna say zombie is an easy thing, but no, it's not. Vampire is the easiest one, and I seem to see more vampires than I do zombies. Only because vampires don't really require a lot. But given Walking Dead, given the Walking Dead TV series, I'm sure a lot more people have dressed up as a zombie, or at least want to. The zombies are still fairly mainstream as opposed to vampires. I mean, if this were 10, 15 years ago, definitely vampire. Given it's 2018 and zombies are still running amok in films and television, I'm gonna go zombie. I think zombie is the right answer. And I am right. It is kid, isn't it? I was right. I still would... I'm a lazy bastard. I'd probably still go vampire, but I know zombie would be the way to go. How much of a conformist am I? And the mouse is in the way. I apologize about that. Ooh, I am 75% conformist. All I hear is the goth kids from South Park. Every time I hear conformity or conformist, that's all I hear. All I picture. What do you most want in a partner? Someone to come home to, or someone to have adventures with? Oh man. You know, I would rather actually go out and have real life experiences, but right now, given my health, that's pretty much impossible, which sucks. I have missed a good number of bands that I've always wanted to see and wanted to expose my fiance Dana to. One in particular was Dark Tranquility, but at the time I also had a massive flare-up and simply wasn't able to drive, let alone go to a venue. Personally, I'm the kind of guy that, yeah, I like going out, I like going to the movies, I like going to see bands, but I'm more a stay-at-home kind of guy. I like just throwing in a movie or just sitting there watching TV, binging on Netflix, whatever. But the rest of the world, I think the rest of the world would rather someone to have adventures with over just somebody to come home to. That's a good question. I'm gonna go against my personal opinion and go with someone to have adventures with, because I know this is probably gonna be the wrong answer, but I just have a feeling it is. I was wrong. I was entirely wrong. Do not listen to me. I am even less of a conformist now. And oh, I am wrong. I am dead wrong. I don't think I could possibly have been more wrong in this game. How about that? Okay, guess what the rest of the world thinks. Which bad habit are you more likely to be guilty of? Leaving dirty clothes on the floor, piling up the dirty dishes. We all do both. And if anybody says that you don't, again, you are a liar or a hypocrite. More so liar, I guess, in this sense. I have left dirty clothes on the floor in the past. I still do. I'm a 32-year-old man going on 33, and I do it. It's usually just socks. I forget to throw them in the washer when I'm done, and I pick them up the next day or two like, oh shit, I forgot they were on here. I forgot they were on the recliner. I'm piling up the dirty dishes. Oh my god. That is laziness to a T right there. Many years ago in the first apartment I got, at one point my fiance and I were kind of feuding over who would do the dishes, and they sat there for 4 weeks, and I finally broke down like, alright, fine, fuck it, I'll do the dishes. So I wound up doing them, and it was just disgusting. It was awful, it was horrible, and it was something that just kind of happened more and more, not more and more, but continued to happen. We would feud over who would do dishes and everything, and they'd sit there for a little while. There were times where I would make dinner and I'd just leave them sitting there and deal with them before I go to bed. So if the world is anything like me, I'm going to go with piling up the dirty dishes a lot more than leaving dirty clothes on the floor. Because without the dishwasher, that's what I'm looking for. Without the dishwasher, they would probably still be sitting in the sink every night until Dana comes at me and starts getting on me about them. So, piling up dirty dishes it is, and oh, I am wrong. God damn you. Leaving dirty clothes on the floor is the bad habit you are more likely to be guilty of. Screw you. Well, it makes me happy to know that there aren't as many lazy slobs out there guilty of the same thing that I am, because then the world is not as bad a smelly place. Holy crap, I am in the drastic minority here. I am in the you fail at life category, I believe. Look at that, 19% to 81%. God damn. I thought I couldn't be more wrong. I am. I believe the other one was 27%. That was 19? God damn. All right. Okay, if a movie was made about your time at school, how would your character most likely be portrayed? Promiscuous cheerleader or ultra nerd? Anybody that's playing this game is not going to pick promiscuous cheerleader. I guarantee you for that. So, without hesitation, ultra nerd, because that would be me. I would be the ultra nerd. And I am right. Let's see just how right I am on that. Yeah, I was walking around with Spider-Man overshirts. I brought Spider-Man comics. I played D&D, Magic the Gathering. I brought the cards to school and everything. And that is a very, very slim margin. That is surprising. You know, the Sega Dreamcast, this is one thing I did in high school, I think 7th or 8th grade. The Sega Dreamcast came with that little personal digital memory card thing. I forget what it is. It had a screen on it. And you could download games or applications, whatever they were called, from the Dreamcast store. And I would bring that to school with me. I would be bored enough and I would kill time. I remember like a simple football game on there. That's what I would play just to kill some time, and I'd challenge friends and everything like that. And it was a good time. It was a blast. It was fun. I miss those days. I miss the Dreamcast. I found all my games. I just can't find the system. It'd be nice to actually get a replacement system and one that I can hook up with an HDMI. Sega, are you listening? This is a hint from an old fanboy who has followed you since the Genesis days. Hopefully somebody gets that. And of course, bear in mind, too, there was all that buzz about the potential Dreamcast 2, which was just, an Indiegogo thing, and the people didn't have the rights for it. It was more like a petition kind of thing, I guess. I don't remember exactly what it was, but a lot of people were hyped about the Dreamcast 2, and that just never happened. It wasn't a thing. So that should be a sign to Sega, like, hey, look at how the NES Classic sold. The Sega Genesis Classic thing came out, and that sold pretty well, too, from what I understand. Let's get more classic Genesis, or not classic Genesis, classic Sega game systems in that same manner out on store shelves, and make damn sure you do the Dreamcast. Okay, done on my Dreamcast rant. Would you be comfortable dating someone that has been in prison? I have not. I have not dated anybody that is in prison, or was in prison. I dated I can't call her a druggie, but apparently she was, I forget the term she used, but she was more a distraction and a lookout for somebody that did sell drugs. And that's kind of the thing that killed the relationship. I found out about that, and it weighed heavily on me. And I confided in one of her friends online, and she blabbed her big-ass mouth that I was considering maybe I should leave and give her time to sort her shit out. And she decided to dump my ass right there on the spot because she felt betrayed. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, yeah, if you bring that shit into my life or my car, we're going to have massive problems. And it killed me. I tried to get her back for so long because she actually, not learned from that, but she actually took that really close to heart. She actually really liked me and didn't want to lose me, but she went into rehab and everything. Not rehab, but she went and got help. And, she wanted some time alone. I gave it to her. And a few months went by, and, we were still talking, and there was always that chance, but during that time in the pursuit of getting the help, she wound up meeting somebody else, and it became this huge feud between him and I, because the guy wound up actually being a semi-friend from high school, which was like the ultimate shot to the nuts right there. The ultimate little girl kicking you in the balls with wearing tap dance shoes. It sucked. It killed me. And we kind of fought for her affection for like 5-6 years, and eventually I just gave up. I figured, it's not going to happen. It's not worth it. Tried to be nice, tried to stay around as a friend, but that didn't happen. Now, if she were in prison, or had been in prison, I don't think I ever would have actually gone through with that. I know there are a lot of people that actually would. I mean, hell, Charlie Manson had a friggin' massive cult following. I'm reading way too much into this and getting way too detailed in my personal life, aren't I? I think genuinely if the person strikes an interest to somebody, whether it be craziness, drug access, or just general hotness or sex appeal, I think a lot of people would actually be willing to glance over those faults, the faults being having been in prison and the reason for it. So I'm going to shut the hell up and go, yes. Yes, I do believe people would be comfortable dating someone that has been in prison, and I am absolutely right. I overanalyzed the ever-loving shit out of that to get to that answer. Let's see if my overanalysis paid off. It did by a mildly slim margin. Okay, cool. Current conformity level. Where do I stack up? 58%. Good. I am almost half nonconformist. The final round. This is where apparently the game gets awkward and actually lives up to its title. How do you think your partner looks best? Naked or with clothes on? I'm sorry, Dana. Clothes are just not suiting to you. I love you. Naked. Oh, like anybody was gonna say with their clothes on. I mean, unless... I don't know. I don't want to even get into the discussion of that because I don't want... I'm already... God, I'm already in trouble on Facebook with certain friends of mine. I'm just gonna... I'll leave it at that. I'm in trouble because I basically came out against that AIDS simulator game saying I do not condone this. I bashed the game a little bit. And what happened is one of my friends apparently felt that I was preaching hate speech and reported me to Facebook. And Facebook, they reviewed it and felt that I was in violation of the community terms of service for bashing a game, AIDS Simulator, which is about taking revenge on African people in Africa because your character happens to go to Africa and has sex and contracts HIV. So you go on a killing spree against African people. So apparently that is deemed hate speech for standing up and saying, I'm willing, that active shooter game, I will let it slide, but this game is 100% racist bullshit, so I'm not going to let it slide. I'm going to actually step up and say something. And I send the information over, and sure enough, a manual reviewer in Facebook felt, yes, I am one of the new Facebook Hitlers for, speaking out against hate speech. Because saying, fuck this game for its hate speech, don't buy it, I do not condone it, in and of itself is apparently now hate speech. I do not understand the way the world works anymore. I do not comprehend the social justice warrior rhetoric. I do not. It baffles my mind, and I have been in a male patriarchy argument a few times already. So yes, this stuff has happened to me in the past. And it just happened again, and I'm going to just shut up because the next question has been sitting here. If you could choose one, well, what would you change about yourself? Your hair or your chest? I fully intend on changing my hair, actually. I'm gonna buzz it down and go full on Mr. Clean, Roger Rabbit, Professor Doom, I think his name was. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Fester. I've been compared to Fester when I am bald. So I fully intend to because the weather is getting to that point, and I am dying of heat, especially in this room right now, from pulling a 8-hour shift. And the sun beaming in here with the door closed because Dana went to sleep. Chest, I can imagine a lot of women out there with possibly wanting to upgrade their chest size. I personally, even fat people, including myself, I'm a fat bastard. I got man boobies. I got the movies. I'm rocking the movies, and I would love to get rid of them. Pardon the voice cracking. I'm starting to get a little tired. I would love to get rid of them, as well as the gut. So I'm definitely going to go chest. There's just a lot more options out there than hair. And a lot more people, I believe, would actually choose that. Oh my god. How? How bad? How badly did I get that wrong? Really? Really? 29... I'm noticing that when I am dead wrong, it is by a wide, vast margin. And that was the final round. You only get 2 in the final round, which I think is fairly lame. But I am 56% conformist. Woo. Could be nihilistic. I don't know.